If you remember, we did 2014 Best Wonderkids handful of weeks ago, but in 2015, The Guardian released the next batch of players born in 1998. So we're gonna go through all of them and see which Wonder Kids have aged well, are looking promising, and which ones might not be living up to their potential at the moment. But here is all the countries that we have that are in this list. Last time there was 40, this time there's 50, so hopefully we can go through it a little quicker than last time. Here we have the list of the best players born in 1998, and of course you see Kylian Mbappe, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Fede Valverde, Mcconnell, Hakimi, Koundé, and the first player is Franco Lopez, a man who played for River Plate, born April 1st, 1998. He apparently had a resemblance to Ronaldinho. Scored 2 goals against Real Madrid and against AC Milan in a cup in Qatar. Missed out on a professional contract and moved to Argentina Juniors, which is still in the top flight, but he suffered a shoulder injury in 2019, ruptured a cruciate ligament, destroying his chances of flourishing. Okay, wow. We're not off to a great start. A move to Argentina Juniors did not work. He spent time in the 3rd division Los Andes in 2019. He made another low move to Deportivo Español in Primera C, where they've not played since March. He's playing in Puerto Rico for Metropolitan FA. Just like the last Argentine on the previous generation list, he fell off the face of the earth. Best of luck to him in Puerto Rico, I guess, if he's still there. Next guy is this man here, Thomas Kaneki. Sounds a little familiar, but I'm not sure if he's at a top club in real life. Moved to Buenos Aires to join San Lorenzo, has ambitions to play in the Premier League, and is an out-and-out number 9. He somewhat unfortunately hit the headlines when he injured himself playing on his PlayStation console, focusing so much on the screen that he fell out of a window? 7 games in 2018 update. He started only 2 games during a 12 months on loan at Portland Timbers. That's probably where I recognize his name. He remains part of Portland Timbers' first team squad, though he's not established himself as a mandatory first choice pick. His contract is due to expire at the end of this year. He is now playing in the first tier of Uruguay or Maldonado. He's not fallen the face of the earth, but he's definitely C tier because yeah, he didn't really live up to what was billed at the moment, but that can always change. Panos Armenakas. He's at Udinese at the time. Silky skills, dribbling, eye for goal. Bunch of clubs paying attention to him. Joined Udinese in 2014. Born in California, raised in Sydney. Given his Greek heritage, had a choice of 3 countries to represent, but he chose Australia. Moved to Panathinaikos. Did not work out as a player or the club had hoped. He's making just 3 appearances before opting to move to Belgian 2nd tier. Doesn't look like it's been working out for him. He trained for West Ham for several months, but it doesn't seem like it has worked out for him. He has no club, still no club, and it's almost August when we're streaming this. Low C tiers. He did play in the 1st division of Belgium just recently, so it's not a disaster. We got an Austrian here, first one out of the 2 lists. And we have Sandy Loveridge from Austria. Played for Sturm Graz. Got a Xabi Alonso-esque style to him. Physically imposing at 180 centimeters and 75 kilos. That's like a little bit heavier than me and a little taller than me. But that's, I guess, when he was 17, so that's kind of insane. He turned down offers from Juventus and Inter, mainly because he wants to finish school with straight A's, but also because he's keen to play in the Premier League. His contract ran out in the summer of 2017, renewed with the club in his heart, despite other offers. Okay, let's just skip to the 2021. Oh, he moved to Lugano to Switzerland, made 34 appearances. He's at a solid club in Switzerland, has won a trophy in his career, very nice. Lots of game time in the Super League, 2 goals, 5 assists. Position-wise, he's playing more as a defensive midfielder, so that's not bad whatsoever. It'd be a low B for me. We got Ismail Azawi. I'm pronouncing that terribly. Apologies for that. He's eligible for Morocco, but chose Belgium. They bought this guy for 1 million euros before he even made a professional debut. He made his debut against Pep Guardiola's Bayern. Okay, another cruciate ligament. That's number 2 already. That's not great. He was released in 2020 and was training with Heracles. Yeah, he is at Heracles Almelo, 1st division of Greece. Oh, wait, no, I don't know why I thought they were in Greece. It's in the Eredivisie, of course. Injuries are really hurting this guy. Not really getting to play a full season. Let's just see his injury history. Then he got a ruptured cruciate ligament again. So he's not had a great time. I'll put him here, C. But let's move on to the Brazilians, because I think there are a couple that I am aware of. Evander Ferreira. I think this is the guy that plays for Michelin. Is that Trent? Isn't he playing for Michelin? Yeah. He scored against Celtic. What was his hype though? Barcelona were tracking him in the footsteps so he could follow the footsteps of Neymar. Pretty good player from what I know. But Evander worth 6.6 million, still playing for Michelin, or center mid is his main position. And yeah, he's already got a goal in the Champions League. 8 games in the Danish league so far. He must have had an injury, but 3 goals and 5 assists in 8 games. Oh, no, that's a championship round. Nevertheless, it's still impressive. I'm going to put him low A. But Brazilian number 2 is Lincoln from Grêmio. There's a couple Lincolns, but if this is the one that played at the U17 World Cup in... was it 2017? Yeah, it had to be a 2015. He's a black diamond, a nickname popular in Brazil, most notably given to the legendary Leonidas da Silva. He's gone strength to strength this year, prospering at a club who gave world Ronaldinho and Anderson. Manchester United were reportedly inquired about the player, who is fast, difficult to stop, with a fierce left foot and a strong mentality. The captain of Brazil at the U17 World Cup. So this is the Lincoln that I was thinking about, to be honest. Yeah, I bought this guy in Football Manager several times. Very good, but for some reason playing in Japan. The one the list is talking about is this guy in the Portuguese league, or Santa Clara. Mostly playing as an attacking midfielder, but can play on the wing, worth 2.2 million. I mean, for an attacking midfielder, those aren't the greatest numbers, but he's also not playing for the best club in the world. Probably C. No, B. Yeah, I'll put him low B. Who is the third Brazilian we got? Oh, you might recognize this guy, Daddy Smack. Mateus Pereira, chosen as the best player at the under-17 tournament in Spain. Talented. Fears that he will become a good player rather than a great player. A bit like Paulo Henrique Gonzo, who played with Neymar at Santos but never reached the same height. Moved to Juventus, but there was no room for him in the squad when Sarri arrived, so he was loaned to Dijon in Ligue 1. He joined Barcelona B, and I'm pretty sure he was released this summer forcefully. So it's Mateus Fernandez that I was thinking about that was forcefully released. This is a different guy who is still at Barcelona. 23, playing in Barca B, which is third tier Spain now. Probably around the same level as Lincoln. Now, Barcelona, of course, high allure, bring him to high B, I guess. Although I don't really see him as a high B towards the end of this list. Let's move on to the Colombian now. Jesus Marimon. I have no idea who this guy is right now. He was tracked by City at age 15. He's a midfielder. Fast-tracked into the first team. His agent boasts that the midfielder is the only kid his age holding a regular starting spot in South America. Compared to Yaya Toure, his ability to break a play and distribute the ball intelligently. So City, Frankfurt, and Atletico Madrid were interested in him. Number 3, third ACL of the video. Unfortunate for him. We were probably never able to see what type of player he would become. He returned to Colombia with Patriotas, but just made 2 appearances. He's on trial in Uruguay's top flight and hasn't looked the same since tearing his ACL. That is a very common theme so far. It's not really a fun thing to talk about because it's really unfortunate, but it is the reality of things. And right now he is without a club, very similar to a player earlier in this video. And yeah, not a lot of football played in his career, unfortunately. And we will look at his injury history. No injuries available, but it does say he did tear his ACL, or towards ACL, or whatever the right terminology is there. It is an ACL bingo. I'm gonna put him fell off the face of the earth. Very unfortunate. We're 9 in and 3 of them have gotten an ACL tear. Ah, you might recognize his last name. Davor Lovren. It's Davor Lovren's brother. I'm pretty sure he played for Fortuna Dusseldorf a few years ago, but never really reached a first team place. But what was his, what did they talk about? One of the key players in Dinamo's youth league team. He was alongside some names like Borno Sosa, now at Stuttgart, Nicolo Moro, don't know who that is, and Brekalo, who's at Wolfsburg currently. Reminiscent of Eden Hazard. But let's see, how did he end up? He spent the second part of last season on loan back at home with Croatian top flight side Slaven Belupo, but did not get much playing time. Now with Fortuna's second team. Davor Lovren, worth 100,000, is a player who hasn't really developed. He's still at Fortuna Dusseldorf, but he's mainly in their second side currently. Let's see what happened last season, because this update doesn't have that. Played in the 4th tier of Germany, 23 matches, 23 years old, not really developing to what was expected, unfortunately. Trying to remember where these guys were at. I'll put him here. Dominic Smekal played for Internazionale Inter, of course. Elements of Milan Baros, back club Sferkos. Still has to improve his work rate in matches. Has some spells where he is invisible. And is now back at Banik Ostrava. He wasn't playing in his preferred position either in Inter, which is, it happens. Played in the 3rd division of Czech Republic. Suffered an injury, was out for 2.5 months. Mainly playing for their B side. Is not pulling any trees. So this guy really hasn't developed. If he's in the lower, he's in the 2nd tier of Czech Republic. So, I mean, he was literally at Inter at the start. And this guy hasn't really been playing that much. There's not much known about him. Pretty low C. Not falling off the face of the earth, but nothing incredible. Denmark, who is Denmark's Jacob Brun Larsen, who was part of Dortmund back in the day. I think he's still playing in the Bundesliga. Yeah, he left Dortmund on deadline day, joining Hoffenheim for 9 million euros. Fairly decent player. He was never someone who I thought would make it at Dortmund whenever I watched Dortmund at the time. He had a loan spell at Anderlecht, so I'm guessing it hasn't been fully working out in the Bundesliga. Didn't really play that much at Anderlecht, but he still had a solid side. I think this is a low B. Actually, it's probably a high B. Kaan Kairinen. He's a midfielder, played for Inter Turku. Second youngest player in Inter Turku's history to play for the club. Left-footed, very confident on the ball, reads the game exceptionally well. Great range of passing, can shoot from distance. Local journalists consider him the best young talent in Finnish football and expect him to develop into a deep-lying midfielder in the Andrea Pirlo mold. He signed for Michelin. He had a loan spell in the second division, played 18 games in Helsinki in 2020, got some Champions League and Europa League qualifying experience, and is at Norwegian second tier. So I am not really expecting him to be high on this list now. Left Michelin to Lillestrøm SK, which I think is now in the first tier of Norway. Yes, it is. So it's not that bad right now. He's actually got 2 assists in 10 games in the first division of Norway. Not too bad. So we'll put him here. Looking at it, that's probably very kind, but of course S and A are very rare here. Now we have 4 French guys. France, of course, developing talent left, right, and center. Last list they had 3. This one they have 4. I'm sure we know most of these. I would hope, but you never know. Bilal Boutoba played for Marseille, young player there. I don't think he really developed into anything because it's not a name I recognize at Marseille anymore. He's compared to Arjen Robben and is French-Algerian, shown at the U17 European Championships. Posted signing for Arsenal in 2016. Oh, he didn't decide to sign a new deal at Marseille and join La Liga side Sevilla. Interesting. Signing with Sevilla may have been a mistake. As we can tell, Sevilla nowadays, I think they'd rather use the younger players to make some money, honestly. We saw that with Gil, just so they can keep competing at the top flight, which is not a wrong thing to do, to be fair. Okay, so he went to Pelier in late September, joined Nuart in Ligue 2 on a permanent deal. So he hasn't really lived up to the billing as the French-Algerian Arjen Robben, worth 1 million still. He's playing a lot in France. 3 goals, 7 assists is nothing to write home about. It's not the worst thing in the world for a 22-year-old, but I'll say low B. A bunch of these Bs could be in C, to be honest, but I mean, fall off the face of the earth is pretty much, you're not really playing to the level you were before, and it's significantly worse. C is you're at a drop-off, but with that drop-off, you could put him in C then, because he's in the second division of France. I'll put him low B. We'll see, we'll see. Mcconnell. Okay, easy. This is our first S. We don't need to go much about him. Mcconnell, of course, at Bayern Munich, joined them this summer. And we saw on this list here, he is number 4. So one of the most valuable players born in 1998. Oh, Jeff Rene Adelaide. If we're keeping count of ACL counts, I think we're at number 4 now. Unfortunately, cruciate ligament rupture in 2020. He did make a big move to Lyon. I think he made a move to a different club now, though. He is still at Lyon, worth 22 million. So really a lot better than most of the players on this list. 14 games last season for Nice. Not incredible. He got another cruciate ligament rupture and he's still recovering from it. I mean, currently I would put him A, but if we do this list in like 5 years time, would it be the most surprising thing to see him in B or C? I don't know. But A tier is where we'll leave him off. Hopefully he can recover from the injury. I know those ACL injuries aren't easy to recover from, but there are several players that have had ACL injuries and have done well enough. Like Joe Gomez, I think he's gotten a few. Florenzi, Zaniolo. Zaniolo is one where we have to see if he can really build up and keep his development going. But yeah, we'll say low A for now. Moving on to the last one though. We have Luca Fernandez, of course. I'm pretty sure this is Zidane's son. His dad is Zinedine Zidane, yep. Despite being the manager's son, he was released by Real Madrid after 16 years at the club and joined Rayo Vallecano at the start of the month. Rayo Vallecano, of course, have been promoted to La Liga. Luca Zidane, now he has a beard, unlike Zidane, still has hair. Also unlike Zidane. He played 11 times in the second division of La Liga. Yeah, he played a lot of the later games. Look, I think he's a starting keeper now. And he's going to La Liga. This could be wrong. He might have lost his starting spot when the season happens. The pressure of being Zidane's son is huge. But we'll put him between here. Fabian Benko at Bayern Munich, and unfortunately I don't think he really developed into a Bayern Munich player. Still playing in the second Liga, so I feel like he hasn't really developed much. Still without a club. Not great. Played a lot of games, but really. Was at Bayern Munich. Moved to the first tier in Austria with Lask, who aren't a bad team. Didn't really play with their first team. Played for their second team. And got released. Still doesn't have a club. I say that's low C or fell off the face of the earth. So we'll put him in fell off the face of the earth though. The next German is Felix Pasta, who is still at Borussia Dortmund. Had multiple loan spells. He was loaned at Norwich. He was loaned at Paderborn, I think. I remember this guy quite a bit. He did play in the U17 World Cup I watched. It might have been in 2013. Was it 2013 or 20? It might have been 2015 actually. Lots of loans, but he's still at Dortmund's first team. Dortmund right now have a right back problem. He did play 7 matches. He's still at Dortmund. He's not really a regular starter there right now. With Piszczek gone and Murray gone though. There's Mounier and there's him, which I'm not sure if Dortmund fans are happy with those two options as their right back, but I'll put him high B. He hasn't really played too much for Dortmund recently, but he could be a big part of their first team though in the next season. Who knows? Demetrius Lim Neos, who played for Atromitos FC, scored a hat-trick against Moldova in under-19 duty. Third youngest player to have appeared in the Greek Super League and has made a European debut this season against AIK in the Europa League second qualifying round. Not too dissimilar to Mitroglou in the playing style. Got his first cap for Greece in 2018. Valuable squad member for PAOK as they won the title undefeated. 37 appearances, mostly as a substitute. Another strong season for him at PAOK, although without a title as they finished second in the league. He got a 3 million transfer to the Bundesliga. Really? Wow. We're actually having a nice story for once. 12 games, no goals, no assists, 369 minutes. Probably B. Got a guy from Iran next. Cheyenne from Next Generation Podcast would be going nuts. Reza Shakari. He played for Zob Ahan. It says here, Iran produces plenty of talent, but is not always nurtured the way it should be. Shikari could be different. He's the Iranian Yaya Toure. He's been attracting interest from European clubs. Trained with FC Basel, got interest from Leicester. Was signed by Russian side Ruben Kazan in 2017. The midfielder has been playing for Tractor SC, one of Iran's top teams. So it hasn't worked out for him in Europe. He hasn't really been playing much, really. Pretty easy C tier, if I'm going to be honest. Israel. Haviv Ohayon. He's a goalkeeper who was part of Maccabi Tel Aviv, so really, this one's going to be a tough one to judge. So he suffered a disastrous head and neck injury and is recovering better than originally expected, but tragically, Ohayon's chances of playing football again are extremely slim. Oh my gosh. I know this music does not match the expression, but jeez. He suffered a serious head and neck injury after an accident on a beach at the start of October. So he's currently on a career break. So pretty much he's injured, can't really play or something. So literally he hasn't played since 2019, which is really unfortunate. Wow. I mean, we'll put him fall off the face of the earth. I mean, that's not a nice way to say it, but he of course isn't playing football, unfortunately. Let's just hope he can make a recovery and can live a good life. That's just what I hope. Manuel Locatelli, easy. Plays for Sassuolo, rumored to be going to Juventus. Great Euros from him. I think this one's pretty easy. If we look at the top most valuable players, he's number 13. With the likelihood of him going to Juventus, I'm putting him in S. Next one, probably not someone you have heard of because his name is Manuel Nicoletti. He played 75 matches in leagues and cups for Catanzaro. Moved to Monopoly, also in Serie C. Solid Serie C player, but C for me. As long as he's living a happy life, good career, playing the sport he loves, maybe having some nice wine on the side, not the worst thing in the world. Ritsudon, or Duan, I'm not sure how you pronounce it exactly. He trained for the Tokyo Olympics games in 2020. Oh no, he was training for those games. And he's there. Very good, he reached his goal. Don made his first appearance for Gamba Osaka in the Asian Champions League before his 17th birthday. I believe he moved to PSV Eindhoven. He rejected a switch to PSV in July for a regular spot at Takasi Usami. Most valuable player at the U19 AFC Championship. Scored 3 goals at the U20 World Cup in South Korea, which was I think in 2017, of course. Yeah, no crap, we're in 2017. Oh yeah, right. He moved to Groningen first. Regular starting 11, scored 9 goals, more than Iron Robin or Luis Suarez did in their teenage years there. So he did move to PSV, yeah, for 7.5 million. Played in the Bundesliga in 2020-2021 after a year-long loan with Bielefeld, which I think they stayed up, to be fair. I remember watching him for a few times that season, actually. Played very well. Ritsudon, yeah, he's at PSV. Played a lot of games in the Bundesliga. Hopefully he can become a regular starter for PSV. They're looking really good going into next season, despite losing guys like Daniel Malen. But I think Ritsudon It's an A. Pretty simple. Maybe high. Next up is Sidiki Mayaga. Third place at the U20 World Cup in June. Mali are developing a lot of great players, to be honest. Mayaga is a pacey, tricky menace of a winger with a set-piece prowess that he demonstrated when scoring a free kick against South Africa. Arsenal, Barcelona, Real Madrid were wanting him, but he had to wait till 18 before moving there. Moved to Europe earlier in the year, joining the B squad of Spanish second division club Alcorcon. Signed a deal with Toledo. Only 21, still has time to make it. Did he make it anywhere higher than he is from that last update? No, he has no club. Career stats is 1 match. Is that really it? For Mr. Siddiqui, he is off the face of the earth. But next we have Mexico. Pablo Lopez here from Pachuca first. Best player of the U17 World Cup qualifying. Dynamic and energetic central midfielder. Debut for Pachuca's first team in 2016. Struggled to get minutes at Pachuca in 2019, but he was part of Mexico's squad for the build-up to the Olympics. Made 2 league appearances as an 89 substitution in 2020. Moved to Atletico San Luis on loan, which is owned by Atletico Madrid. He's still at Pachuca, 23 years of age. Has he been playing recently? It's nothing great. I'll say that. I mean, it was part of a CONCACAF Champions League winning side, but still playing the first division in Mexico with his original club, but he isn't really getting game time. So the problem with him putting much higher on this list is probably doesn't deserve it. But maybe he can still develop into a great player. Lots of time, but I would put him in C tier. Ulises Torres, who is a defender from Club America, technically gifted, expert crosser of the ball, is a good defender apparently. He's a fullback too. His development slowed down in 2018. Moved to Europe in search for first team minutes. Has been playing for Spain's third division team Salamanca, and in a good season in Spain, he moved back to Mexico in the second tier. So it's not going too well for this guy in the grand scheme of things, but not disastrously either. Yeah, he's still at Cimarrones. His position now, funnily enough, is left winger. Unfortunately for Ulises Torres, we're gonna probably put him, low C. The Wonder Kid, Hakim Mastur. Wow. Recently released from his side, Regina, I believe. Just a few days ago from this time of recording. 7 years ago on Red Bull's YouTube channel, he had a freestyle football juggling battle with Neymar. Of course, very technical player. A lot of flash, never really grasped onto the professional level, I would say. At least for AC Milan, and with him being released recently with even in the second division of Serie A, or in Serie B. Played for Morocco's national team in 2015. For the extreme talent that this guy had and the hype he had, it was insane. For me, he fell off the face of the earth. I mean, yeah, he was at a Serie B club, but like the hype this guy had to now being a guy without a club in almost August of 2021. Javaro Dilsaroun next, or Dilrosin. Jeez, I can't pronounce this guy's name. Dilrosin. I thought it was Dilsaroun for the longest time, but this guy, I think he's at Hertha Berlin right now. Yeah, solid player, good player. He was at City's Academy, now at Hertha Berlin. I don't think I need to spend too much time on him. Yeah, still at Hertha Berlin. Part Dutch, part Suriname. 2 assists, didn't have the best season. He isn't really popping up with incredible numbers. He is playing as a winger there mostly. High B, or maybe low A. Yeah, we'll put him low A. We have Justin Bijlo. So he was asked to choose between a girlfriend and football by Feyenoord TV. He replied, football, of course. A relationship with a girl can end, and with football, you can earn some money. It's more valuable to invest in that now than in a girl. His aim is to one day play for a Premier League club. Well, fair enough to him. Let's see if that paid off. Became Feyenoord's #1 goalkeeper despite being only 20. Very much Feyenoord's #1 these days, and believe that the postponement of the Euros could give him a chance to make the squad. I don't think he did, but it seems like this guy is a #1 keeper. So played 14 times. He's playing in the Champions League qualifiers for them, or is this the Europa Conference League? Playing the first for a good team in the Eredivisie. Not consistently yet, but he's getting there. But low A. We have Timothy Fosu-Mensah. He was called the next Pogba? Is he still playing at Manchester United? No. Oh, right. He's at Leverkusen now. Number 5. Moved to Leverkusen in January 2021 for 1.7 million euros and suffered a cruciate ligament injury. And this was a couple of years after he had a cruciate ligament surgery. I assume he's barely played for Leverkusen, assuming he got the injury not that long ago. He's played 6 games. I'll put him in B. I mean, he was at Manchester United for the longest time. Leverkusen is still a solid club. But unfortunately, the injury is not going to help him out. It is what it is. That's what happens, unfortunately. Next, we have a guy from North Korea. Han Kwang-song. Wow, North Korean player. Interesting. Was this the one that was at Juventus? Or, yeah, he moved to Serie A side Cagliari earlier this year and has since been loaned to Perugia, where he started very well indeed. The forward scored 7 goals for Perugia last season in 2018. North Korean Ronaldo, as he's called in Seoul, signed for Juventus on an initial loan in the summer and at the time of writing made in 1 appearance for under 23 team. In January, he left Cagliari for Juventus for around 3 million. Soon after, he joined Qatari powerhouse Al Duhal and helped his new team win the league. Now there's more to this story because I actually researched this guy not too long ago because I remembered him and was a little interested. First of all, if we look on transfer market for him, he's without a club apparently. Now that might sound very odd for a guy who was playing for Juventus, was scoring goals in Serie B and Serie A, scored 3 goals in 10 games in Qatar, 4 goals in Serie B, 7 in another season. Let's read this. North Korean football player loses his 4.9 million contract with Qatari team. He was supposed to play for Doha for 5 years, but a United Nations report suggests that his career was cut short. North Korean football player was once one of the highest paid athletes in his country with a 5-year contract, but sanctions have apparently put a hold on his career. A new draft United Nations report suggests that Han lost his gig in Doha and left the country. According to an unpublished UN panel of experts, a report shown that his contract was recently terminated. The athlete made his debut as the first North Korean to play in Serie A, but since the UN Security Council banned North Koreans from holding work visas abroad in December 2017, the so-called North Korean Ronaldo has been put under scrutiny. Some question whether his $1 million salary was being funneled into North Korean government against international sanctions, which are in place to squeeze their nuclear program from further development. According to the UN resolution, all member states were mandated to repatriate all North Koreans working in their countries within 24 months from December 22nd, 2017. So basically, the thought was this guy could have been giving money to the North Korean government because of his big contract, so they decided, yeah, no, terminate his contract. It's not just him though, other North Koreans as well. Han reportedly studied at the Pyongyang International Football School and was part of an elite group of athletes sponsored by the North Korean government to be trained overseas. But his most recent run-in with the sanctions controversy came in January 2020 when he was transferred from Italy's Juventus to Qatari Football Club. It's unclear whether he returned to North Korea, but the potential end to his global career could be a blow for North Korean propaganda, which often boasted about his accomplishments abroad. Wow. North Korea's soft power as a nation is pretty weak from the beginning, he said. Han's overseas football career was nothing more than a gossip material for us. So that's a little unfortunate for this guy. His last post on Instagram was 202 weeks ago. Anyways, it is a long-winded one here, but this guy literally fell off the face of the earth. He is literally not with a club apparently. We don't know where he is, what he's doing, if he's okay. 2 Norwegians here. Martin Odegaard is the first one. Easy. We don't need to go too long about him. S tier. Martin Odegaard, of course, is number 11 on the list of most valuable players born in 1998. So yes, he deserves the S tier. But what about the other Norwegian? Rafik Zekini. Or Zeknini. Rafik Zeknini. He played for Odd. Mats Hummels looked stunned when a journalist told him that Zekini was only I remember this. Yeah, I remember this interview. Because I remember Dortmund playing Odd in the Europa League and this interview specifically. I've never followed this guy's career after that though. Let's look into this a little bit more. They look comfortable in Norwegian's top flight. Quick, imaginative on the ball. Possesses a great left foot. Showed versatility when scoring with his right foot in his only 2nd game in the top division. United were following him. The manager there felt that Zeknini had got too big for his boots at the end of the 2015 season, saying, "When you ask the girls, do you not know who I am? Then you need to train a bit harder." Oh, jeez. He joined Fiorentina in 2017 for 2 million. Failed to settle at Fiorentina. Spent a loan at Twente and Rosenborg. Had a fairly successful loan at Twente. Joined Lausanne in Switzerland. Not ready to feature in Serie A. Fair enough. Well, looking up, and this guy's without a club. So this guy played 15 matches in the Swiss Super League in 2020-2021. He suffered a lot of injuries last season. With what the descriptions of the post said, it seemed like he had some ego problems. Thought he was, like I said, too big for his boots, and maybe never really kept grounded, and maybe didn't try as hard or train as hard, and that caused him to not develop as much. He did play in a top tier in Switzerland, so I'll put him in like the bottom of the barrel of C. But next we have Poland. Hooray. I'm Polish. Let's go. Poland, we have Christian Bialik. Of course, I know a lot about him. He was at Legia Warsaw As a young player, was playing in the Poland Extraclass, I believe. Moved to Arsenal, was part of their youth academy for several years. Suffered a couple injuries, unfortunately. Ended up getting some loans to Charlton, I believe. Always played decent in the championship, but now he's at Derby County. He can play DM, he can play center back, but geez, he moved to Derby for 8.2 million. That's insane. And Derby are a mess right now, to be honest. I think he is suffering injury problems though, because he isn't really able to stay consistently fit. Poor knee, like, oh, number six, cruciate ligament rupture. Yeah, I completely forgot about that. Things like that don't help. I might have a little bit of bias here, but I will say Lobi. Pedro Pereira. I have no idea who this guy is. So he joined Sampdoria back when this happened, was part of Benfica's youth setup. So the right back had an impressive start with Sampdoria, playing 9 matches. Did not get as much playing time after Walter Zenga was replaced by Vincenzo Montella. Always blame Montella. First year in Italy only increased Benfica's frustration at letting him go in the first place, and they tried to buy him back, but Sampdoria were demanding 5 million euros, which was too much for this Portuguese club. Turned to Benfica in January in the end after difficult negotiations with Sampdoria. Played only final game of the Portuguese league season. 33 appearances in 18 months for Genoa, but the Italian side decided against paying the 4.5 million buyout clause with no room. Loaned to Bristol City. He got 21 appearances at Bristol City, and City did not want to pay 6 million euros for him, and he's at another loan spell at Crotone. So he's not able to stay at a club. Seems like Benfica bought him just to loan him, which is kind of shitty, but a lot of clubs do that. I mean, this guy's getting a lot of appearances in Serie A, like 35 appearances for Crotone. He's Serie B now. I mean, if I put Bialik here, I gotta put Pereira there. Yanis Hadji. Pretty simple here. So he started at Viitorul, which is his club his dad runs or something. He moved to Fiorentina, didn't really work out there. He moved to Genk, didn't really get too much playing time there, but moved to Rangers and has won the league there. Pretty simple. I think that's a solid low A. Moving on though, that was a simple one, thankfully. This guy, not so simple, because I have no idea who he is. Artem Galadzhan. Played for Lokomotiv Moscow from the beginning here. So he's now at Novgorod. We're seeing promotion to the Russian Premier League. Let's find out where this guy is nowadays. He is at FC Nizhny Novgorod. Barely played football in the last little bit, but actually played 62 minutes recently. There's still, it might be a bit too early to judge him, but I'm gonna say, I'll say B. I can probably be Bialik back. Zerudin Mehmedovic. He hails from the same predominantly Muslim populated region of Sanja. Given his superior technique and small size, there's even some of that Serbian Messi narrative going on. Great. Whenever a player gets that Messi narrative, you know they're going to become the best player in the world. Usually quite the opposite actually happens. Spent time training with City and Arsenal. Struggled to break into his first team side. Let's see. Nothing going too well as I keep reading. He moved to Singapore. He saved a career that was going nowhere, although he had to pass a trial at the club. Seems to be doing well there now. He became a star for Rovers and he signed a new contract with them in late 2019. So he is playing in the first tier of Singapore. A guy who had time training with Manchester City and Arsenal to end up in Singapore. How does that even happen? Like, he doesn't even have a picture on here. He still has a club. I'm going to say he fell off the face of the earth. We have a Slovenian, Jan Mlakar, played for Fiorentina when this was released, was a marksman, compared to Klaas-Jan Huntelaar, Edison Cavani, or even Robert Lewandowski. Fiorentina paid 1 million plus add-ons for him. Brighton signed him in January of 2019, but left him on loan at Maribor, and then loaned him before the season started to QPR. Right now he's at Toulouse. Never mind, that's Hajduk Split. So he's in the first division of Croatia. Not the worst thing in the world, to be honest. Scored 2 goals already. 14 goals for Maribor. I feel like this guy could become a solid top 5 league player in the future, really. He's just developing a little later. I think he's a bit more of a late bloomer. Not too bad. I'll give him B. Yeah. But next we have Liam Jordan from South Africa. He has a Cristiano Ronaldo-esque build and body language, has attracted interest from Europe, spending time with Manchester United, Sunderland, and Brøndby with a move overseas, seemingly more of when than if. I mean, that's a Cristiano Ronaldo build? Okay. So he landed a contract with Sporting in Portugal, the club that raised his idol Cristiano Ronaldo. Interesting. Play much, joined HB Koge in 2018 and got a 5 goals, 2 assists in his first 10 games. Okay, and he was still there in 2020. Is this guy developing much right now? Yeah, not too many matches played. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, really. I think it's a low C. Not fault. Yeah. I mean, literally was at South Africa. moved to Sporting, then is now in the second tier of Denmark. I'll say fell off the face of the earth. Lee Seung-woo from Barcelona at the time, but he's South Korean. Was visually displeased as being okay. And his updates are very short. Joined Hellas Verona in 2017. Broke into the South Korean team and signed for Sint-Truiden in Belgium. Is playing in Belgium's top flight and has enjoyed a good start to the season. Very good. He won a gold medal at the Asian Games, so he doesn't have to have military service. Still at Sint-Truiden. Not really playing that much. Injuries, is that causing anything? Not really. So, C. I'm going to have to move Bialik to C, aren't I? I feel like I've had a lot of inconsistencies here though, but it is what it is. España, where we have Jose Luis Kuki Salazar. Born in Uruguay, came to Spain at age of 1 when his father rejoined Albacete for a second spell. His dad was a striker for Cadiz, Espanyol, Racing, and most notably Albacete, where he scored more than 70 goals and played for Uruguay. So he didn't make that much progress in his first season. He attacked and creative player in Atletico Malagueño's team that made it to the final round of the playoffs, missed out on promotion to from the third division. 4 years after making his debut for Malaga B and having been linked with Liverpool City and Barcelona, he signed a 2-year deal with Real Valladolid's youth team, signed a contract with Valladolid until 2022, and scored 6 of his last 11 games for Valladolid's B team. So let's see how last season went. 2 appearances in La Liga. I don't really have much to say about this guy. Maybe he's a late bloomer, but first Spain guy, we'll put him in C. Jose Maria Amo. All right, but this guy is a central defender. His surname really translates as master, making him a headline writer's dream in waiting. Boyhood idol was Carlos Puyol, but he admires Sergio Ramos as well. If he wasn't a footballer, he would have liked to have been a bullfighter. In Sevilla, they say he could have been pretty good at that too. Fair enough. Number 7, guys. Number 7, maybe 6.5. He suffered a partially torn anterior cruciate ligament in April. Okay, yeah, he did suffer an actual cruciate ligament injury, so that's number 7. He suffered a second one. Oh my gosh. And he's recently at the second division side. So let's find out where he is now. Still in the second division of Spain with Ponferradina. He's playing a lot in the second tier, to be fair. Injury history though, just to get a better visual representation. Yeah, not ideal. Probably here. Maybe here. Okay, easy. Dani Olmo. Dani Olmo is number 7 on this list as the most valuable players born in 1998, which gives us good reason to put him in S tier. Yeah, Dani Olmo is very good, especially the game where Spain got eliminated against Italy. He was fantastic in that match. I'm looking forward to watching him. Never really understood him as a player until recently, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to him. At least Spain has one good one out of the 3. So we have Zacharias Faur, who is at Manchester City at the time. Paid 400,000 for him. Joined Michelin on a season-long loan in 2016. Joined top flight side in Sweden, Sirius, in 2017. Loaned to Uster in second tier. Returned to Sweden with Assyriska in the third tier. And yeah, it doesn't seem like it's going too well for him. He's in the third tier with Sweden. Has he been playing a lot of football? Not ideal. Don't really have much info about him, but he's in the third tier of Sweden. I'll put him fell off the face of the earth. Turkey, we have Ibrahim Demiurbag. He's the undisputed pearl of the current Galatasaray youth setup. 16-year-old forward has featured predominantly in the number 10 position and can play as a forward in a role similar to that of Thierry Henry. Several European clubs are keeping close tabs on him. And he has 73 goals in 127 games at youth level. That's pretty impressive. Galatasaray were in turmoil. He failed to establish himself. Released by them in 2018 without a club. Released by Bandırmaspor, and at this point it's difficult seeing himself fulfilling his potential. Let's check where he's at now. He's currently 22, playing for a club in the 4th tier of Turkey. Pardon me? 4th tier of Turkey. Pretty easy there, unfortunately for him, but hopefully he's at least having a good time playing some football at least. Yeah, let's put him like here. But 2 players left, one from Uruguay, one from the United States of America. We have Christian Pulisic, or I guess how they like to pronounce it, Pulisic. I'm just used to pronouncing guys with itches at the end as Pulisic. Good at Dortmund, good at Chelsea. Well, won the Champions League final. He's number 8 on this list, of course. So we put him in S tier. Mcconnell's number 1, Olmo number 2. Pulisic, definitely S tier. Probably the best American player that has been developed so far in the 21st century. That could be argued with others in the 2000s, but definitely the best player in the 2010s. 100%. But last off, we have Uruguay. And this one I've seen earlier. I know this one. It is Federico Valverde from Real Madrid. Simple. S tier as well. He is number 3 most valuable players born in 1998. That's the highest valued player from the Guardians list. So they have done a much better job on the 2015 list compared to the 2014 list. 2015, we have a bunch of S's and A's. Still a lot in B and C, but that's bound to happen. And a lot of players did fall off the face of the year, which not the best look, but the top end is a lot better than 2014's, where if we compare it, let's go find it. So yeah, this was 2014's. Now, granted, there's 10 more names in the 2015 one, but you can see there's a big difference to this. There are still several other ones that need to be done, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, but maybe we can do the 2016 one in the near future, but the ones after that, we should probably wait a little bit of time as these players still need to develop. But yeah, that's the list. That's everything.